welcome. I feel like I'm coming to Germany for the first time, so welcome to us.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for having
us.
That's what I just wanted to say. Thanks for having me. Yes, but it's great that you guys are here in Germany, in
Yeah.
Berlin with us.
And Dirk, tell us about your companies. I'm here with Ryan from Quest and
Yes.
Dirk from Drehandel. You got a lot going on here in the German market.
Yes, well, yeah. I started my journey in the industry in '95 already. And to cut things short, now since 2011, I have a wholesale, a very modular wholesale, where I don't have my own warehouse. I use a third-party logistics,
Uh-huh.
and that has developed to a wholesale retail business since the legalization or decriminalization has hit. I started also an online retail store, Dirk's Grow Shop, and a online seed retail store and clones retail store, Dirk's Seed Shop. So now we have three entities. We do not have a brick and mortar store because I've been locked up before and I don't like to be on the same spot every day. And that gives me the liberty
I
to do
respect
so.
that. Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan, when did Quest enter the German market?
Oh man, we entered Europe probably 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah, so with great partners like Dutch Garden Supply.
Yeah.
They were one of the first OG distributors here in Europe, and they've been a fantastic partner of us and with us, and have introduced us to Dirk, and it's been an amazing relationship here.
Yes.
Amazing. So I really want to dive into this interview about the German landscape. I'm here for the first time. We're at Mary Jane, Berlin, 2025. We are going through kind of a legalization effort right now in a massive scale.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. I mean, you've been in the market for a long time.
Yes.
Tell us about these last couple of years kind of leading up to where we're at today.
Well, yeah, where to start? In the end, we did have a legal seed sale possible in the mid-90s still.
Uh-huh.
The market evolved in the early 90s, mid-90s. Grow shops came up. People were happy to start buying things. Not Holland, the Netherlands were the big innovator back then. But then in '98, they forbid cannabis seeds in Germany, and that put us in Germany in a very big recession for the growing market. The growers still were doing their thing, but rather small scale. The big operations were then rather in the Netherlands, in Switzerland, in Spain, wherever in Europe you had a more legal framework to be less vulnerable. But in the past years, let's say when the last coalition came up and said we want to legalize, things started moving fast in Germany. Also, I said I gotta do something. I can't miss that opportunity. Before that, we were just a small wholesale, 2 people, very nice modular setup. But then I said I have to get into the risk zone again. I have to get up and out there again. As a wholesaler, you can just sit and have a couple of good customers, and that's it. And I said, no, I got to get out there again. So I started founding Dirk's Grow Shop as a web shop. I started preparing, enlarging the assortment. I also looked at the options for the associations to come up, the CSCs, the growers clubs. So I had to find completely new products that were not for our market at all before that. And then, we were anticipating it. It was a roller coaster ride. At the best, because it was always unclear, will it really come, will it still break down? The coalition actually broke down not even a year later, so we had a very small window of opportunity that was taken. We already didn't know what would come. They said a full legalization. The European body clearly said you can't do that. Then the Germans had to come up with something else, which actually I feared they wouldn't do, because Germans either do it right or not.
Yeah.
So having that kind of a limbo solution, that kind of like half-baked solution, actually is something that surprised me. But I liked it. I think the German legal bodies try to create something that is not as turbo-capitalistic like in some states in America.
I like that word.
Yes, and they try to keep it a little bit less big. They didn't allow edibles, they didn't allow other stuff. So you clearly saw that they looked over the pond, that they looked to other countries and tried to anticipate the developments and do it differently. Let's see what comes out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ryan, entering into the German market, have you seen a lot of similarities from the American market?
Yeah, man. I mean, we really look at Germany as almost, the new California, right? There's gosh, a ton of excitement on our end, so much so, and we can talk about this down the road, but we've expanded our product line for places like Europe, right, to fit these needs of, you know, the smaller to now the medium-sized grows that maybe weren't as prevalent, but there's a huge need for equipment there now. So, you know, it's been a catalyst for us, you know, to expand our product line and really almost re-engineer our how we're going to market here with sales, right? Even internally, right? So we're investing heavily, and we will continue to invest heavily into Europe. And you know, we've got fantastic partners like Dirk, who is out there educating, you know, growers and, you know, trying to move the industry forward. And, you know, there's a blueprint from the U.S. on how to do it, right? And it's, you know, there's a whole lot of learning there on how to do things right, and, you know, certainly what to avoid, you know, and we're here to help build this here in Europe, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. It really does seem like a community out here, a strong community. What are some of those learnings that we can talk about today that you're looking to bring into the German market? Maybe that we've already learned, you know, trials and tribulations in the California market or U.S. at large. What are some of those learnings that we can bring into a fresh start here in Germany? Yeah,
you know, I think a big part of it certainly is, you know, we're going to talk about the technical stuff, right? VPT and things like that. But you know, it's understanding that you do have to have the right equipment to grow amazing weed, right? You're going to pay for what you get as it relates to equipment, particularly when you look at lights and you know, HVAC systems and things like that, right? You know, so we really work hard to build the most amazing, efficient, most reliable equipment in the world, and we do. You know, but it's going out and educating that, you know, this is why you need the equipment, right? This is why you need this piece and X number, right? So
100%. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this market really started in tents and basements and kind of backyards.
Yes.
Like most markets, right? And it's expanding pretty rapidly here. So what does that look like from your opinion of a grower, maybe 12 plants, maybe up to 50 plants, now kind of scratching, thinking like, how do I get to that next level like a Jungle Boys or a Cookies in the United States?
Well, it really is. I mean, especially Germany, I would say, has developed a culture of small-scale growers, where also the illicit market was rather, I have 2 tents, 4 by 8, I would say, in American style tents, which is very small, I know, for the Americans. But those were the normal setups, and they would then supply 10 of their friends with their stuff. There's also the bigger operations, but there are also bigger operations would maybe do 20, 30 lights per room, which I guess for you guys still in America is very small. Now we have this legal, or the legal changes. So, and then to me that brings in many different changes. On the one hand, looking at the whole Europe, Germany now has moved from a very illegal country, from a country with high repression, to a country within the European bodies with very low repression. So I do anticipate that more of the European inland production of illicit cannabis will move from other countries to Germany, because here the pressure of law enforcement is now less than in other countries. And that is very different. Until now, we've been a very big importer of cannabis, be it medical, legally or illegally. And that change will also bring in more big growers into Germany, illicit and licit. The other thing is the associations are highly regulated. So we call them associations. It's going to be an association founded by at least 7 members, and they can have up to 500 members that can then get
like a
cannabis.
social club, Dirk?
Like a social club, but the Germans didn't want to have the social aspect in it. They didn't want you to consume in the clubs, so we call them associations only, to produce cannabis and hand it out to their members. They can produce 50 gram per member maximum, which would mean 300 kilos total production capacity, but they can also refine hash, so they can also produce pure hash. Hash is the resin inside the resin glands in Germany per definition in the law, so they can do ice water extraction, then this whole live rosin production line. And that's what I anticipate to come. So the new clubs will have small production facilities now, which is maybe 4 lamps to 30 lamps per room, and then maybe 5 to 3 rooms or something like that, and they will grow more. I anticipate that the hashish production will get really big. If you produce hashish, you need more cannabis, so then the grow rooms get bigger again, and then the vaping will come. So we anticipate all these also consumption habits to change. The Germans, the old school Germans, all rolled joints with tobacco in it and a little
I've
bit of
seen
weed
that a
or
lot
dope.
out
Yes,
here.
they still do it, but I think this will change more and more. The more easy it is to have a surplus of weed, the less necessity you have to, to cut it with tobacco, I would
Right.
say. And you can then refine, you can press. We see all those companies coming up to produce your own rosin at home, things like that. I love it. So
Yeah.
these are all developments that will shift the whole world of cannabis production to a new level.
Right. And past these associations, what do you call that? Would that be just a medical corporation that can grow beyond that limitation, or is that still undefined in the law here?
Yes, exactly. That's also something which I feel didn't really settle yet, but I think it's on purpose. Cannabis has been taken out of the narcotics in Germany, so it's much easier also to set up a medical facility in Germany. Why don't they do it within the European landscape yet? I guess Portugal has much lower labor costs, so you have less HR costs. If you have a production facility in Portugal, you also have more light, more warmth, which might be of a advantage, but also I would say you might have a more stable climate in Germany where you have less hot and cold weather over the year, where a production facility might run more smoothly over the whole of the year. And I guess if by time it also will get more efficient to produce in Germany, so more and more medical production facilities will pop up in Germany, especially if other countries follow the German lead within Europe. So
Right.
I also anticipate more than just the 3 or 4 medical producers we have right now to be coming up to be getting
Is Demicon
licenses.
one of those?
Yes.
I think I met them
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, Demicon is one of them. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's only 3 to 4 in the
Yes.
entire
Demicon,
country.
Afria, and the other one I just forgot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Afria is Canadian, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Afria, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So they have some licenses out
Yes.
here, some other countries owning licenses in the German
Yes.
market.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting. And I know we were talking about earlier the challenges of some of the, let's say, electrical grid in Germany. What does that look like? How does that, limit a grower being able to use certain technology that might require more electricity?
Yeah, I think the limit really was on us. We came into the market 7-8 years ago with a line of products that served what it was, and that was a lot of tent growers, right? So we had we sold a lot of 70-pint Quests in Europe over the years, and from there we went to a 155, which was a little bit bigger, and then up to a 706-pint unit, which was great for larger commercial grows. But now, as this market's evolved, as we've got the associations that are going to be more medium-sized growth, we quickly recognized that we would have to, literally a year ago when Keith and I were here at the show, we were like, oh man, we've got to do something different.
Aha moment.
And we redesigned our product line, so now we're able to offer the smaller 100 pint unit for home grows, and we'll have a 200, a 375, and now a 700 unit, so we can do the small home grows, the mediums, and the large grows.
You have it all. I mean, the
have it all,
associations up to the demicons of the market.
Absolutely, and it is, Quest, man, it is the most efficient, highest quality product units in the world.
Yes.
Hands down, and we're so stoked to be here with it. Kicking off this week, really doing a big announcement here. On,
it's
our product
exciting.
line.
I've been filming farms for 8-9 years now, and pretty much every single facility I've ever been into is a Quest. And I've mostly filmed American farms, right?
Yeah.
So now in the future, starting to film the European facilities, seeing them just learn and introduce Quest, it's a new chapter. And it's very exciting to see that.
Dude, it is so exciting, right? Like the vibe here is amazing, right?
Yes.
There's a ton of energy.
Yeah.
People are stoked. You know, so it's a fun place to be, man. It is a fun place to
It
be
is.
right now. You know?
I've never been to Germany. I've never been to Europe in general. So again, thank you for having me. Walking around this show, I was told there were 80,000 tickets sold. And if you go out there's some music festival happening. There's like a main stage, all sorts of really cool booths and exhibits out there, and then 4 like warehouses full of brands.
Everybody.
I've never seen anything like this. I haven't been to Spannabis, but I heard this is even bigger than Spannabis is.
Yeah, it is. They got a Ferris wheel out there.
They
man.
got a
we'll go for
Ferris
we'll go for a fucking Ferris wheel ride later, right? No, but yeah, it's massive. It's wild. It's wild, and it's so fun.
Yeah, and it's just for us coming from the American market. I'm not going to say we're jaded, but there's just been such a boom and bust. You know. And I feel like this has the air of like early High Times Cups or kind of maximum yield days, and it's just exciting to be part of that, the early days.
Yeah, it's refreshing, you know. I mean, in the U.S. we're a mess, right? It's a roller coaster politically and, you know, legislatively, and to come here where, you know, there's some positive energy is fucking amazing. Yeah, it's great.
We've waited so long for it.
Yeah,
As Germans, I mean, we've seen Spain loosen up, we've seen Switzerland loosen up and get more restrictive again. We've seen Switzerland, Czech loosening up. Austria has its clones always. We've been suffering so much in Germany, let's say out of our industry, where we've seen all the others strive and have their moment to shine. And yes, now it's our moment to shine. Let's see what comes out of it.
And you know, it's people like you that make it exciting for us because your passion is contagious.
Okay, that's great to hear.
It truly is, and I mean, you've given years of your life for this, right? Like literally, you've given years of your life for this industry.
I've been a stoner, and that's how I got in the industry. I also opened I founded the German Hemp Association, which is the biggest grassroots movement. Now, my best friend is running it, and he's running it much better than I could ever have. So he's the lucky one that he did it. But yes, it's been my passion. It's been what I've decided to do. I think in democracy, every one of us has to do something to make democracy better. For me, drug politics was the imminent thing from being a young stoner and feeling how prejudiced people treated me. So I felt like this is what I'm going to change, and I can say I'm a little part of this change, and that feels good.
You're a legend.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah,
right?
I love that.
And you are taking something that is so near and dear to your heart, and that's true advocacy, right? Is standing up for what you believe in and helping the people that they're walking around here, and maybe you haven't met them before, but they're benefiting from everything that you've pushed to help this overall community. We're all very thankful and grateful for your work.
Well, we're sitting here, and I guess all of us are activists in our world. So yes, great. Yeah, it's great to be here. Yeah.
So, guys, what does the next 5 to 10 years of a global cannabis market look like? U.S., let's be honest, it's a shit show right now. We don't know. I'm hearing whispers in the hall around here. We have some, legalization coming up. I've been hearing those whispers for a decade now.
Right.
So, but Germany is pushing forward. Europe, we have Thailand on board. We have Canada. I was just filming in Colombia. Like, it's heating up around us.
Oh, yeah.
So we will cave into something, but what does that look like? Are we going to be growing weed in America, exporting into Germany? Are we going to be having, German brands enter the American market? Like, let's manifest this. What does it look like?
Yeah, it's going to be an evolution, man. I don't even know if it's predictable, right? I was at Benzingo last week and, listened to some of the international conversations, and, Germany can't produce enough weed. It's a huge, they're importing, right? And, Colombia is exporting a lot, South Africa, Thailand, Canada, so is that going to continue? I would imagine as Europe evolves, there's going to be more growing done here, and probably the export will probably taper off a little bit, but I think there's always going to be a need for that export in Europe, and that's going to help other markets around the world. South America is a big one. Argentina, we're hearing a lot out of Argentina right now.
Right.
So.
Do you see a certain country or a couple countries, Dirk, that are really big export partners or import-export partners for Germany?
Well, medically, we do have Portugal, Canada as the biggest two. I think Denmark is then coming in, South Africa as well. We're importing over 40 tons per quarter of the year, so that's over 10 tons per month. Way over 10 tons, and that is still rising numbers. And the total consumption in Germany is somewhere around 400 to 500 tons per year, so the medical market already is somewhere around a third. For the outlook, I guess within Europe we will have a like a domino stone effect. Hopefully now, where Czech is moving on, but it will all still small steps. We will not have a European legalization for quite a while, I guess, and the European entity is putting a cap on the development the countries can take towards legalization. So that will keep us in a limited development for a commercial market.
Good and bad thing.
Yes. I think exactly. If we would have a complete legal market, cannabis would be a commodity, and it would I guess it would be produced somewhere in Colombia or in these other countries where you don't need any light, where you don't need any as little as possible climate control, and then you have the extracts or the raw materials that can be shipped all over the world, and then no one will grind up a flower anymore and just vape or eat something and get his effect. That's what I think in 20 years' time the world might look like. Until then, I guess we've got a bumpy road, like you say, where we don't know where to go at, because legalization, law enforcement is such a part of how the market can develop. So that we have to see what comes. I hope that we will have someday also German cannabis exported to America. What now some clubs are doing is they start to very geniusly think about what we can do. So they can also have strains grown, and they can do also, how do you say it, strain hunt,
like
search for the pheno hunting, and then they could have maybe dedicated members who are the only ones allowed to get those strains, and then they could market them. So the association is more than a body that can earn a little money and can produce a little bit weed to hand out. The association can become something to take further the industry in different levels. And I hear that people from outside Germany already understand these chances and start to set up associations with those purposes, which is much more than just, again, supplying the need of 400 members. So that's something where I'm really looking at to see how creative we can get with the cards they dealt us.
Yeah. And how do you see the market, unfolding? Let's say the next 10 years. Do you see like a little bit more global trade happening, or more domestic markets building up stronger, where, like you mentioned, Germany might not have to import as much as they used to?
Yeah, it's reality is probably going to be a combo of both, right?
Yeah.
I know from our perspective, we're restructuring to put the resources into international growth. That's a huge focus for us, right? So we see it as, growing quickly for us. I mean, we more than doubled our sales last year internationally.
Wow.
Right? And we plan
That's
on doing that
crazy.
again this year. Yeah. So, but as it relates to export, import, I think it's probably going to be a combo of both, but Dirk's more of an expert on that than I am. I think if we just kind of look at things naturally, that's probably the way that it's going to go.
Yeah.
So.
And do we see American growers bringing their genetics, their gear, their teams, their SOPs into the German market and setting up their own facilities, like Afria from Canada?
Yeah. I mean, look around the building, right? How many American companies are here right now?
There's a lot.
It's insane.
I keep running into homies everywhere.
And it's like 10 times more than what it was last year. So that should tell you right there what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you agree with that movement as well?
I see it. I mean, I actually have lost track of the American market because it's developing so fast, so huge, and I'm such an old fart. I tend to not really understand all of that anymore, but I do see those names coming up here. I do see, if they don't come here themselves, there's dedicated Germans knowing them and dragging their genetics here and making it happen. There will be the genetics at least. If there's a cooperation, if they do it themselves, I don't know. I know of a lot of Dutch and other seed banks or companies who are now looking into the associations and want to have a foot in the door here in Germany.
Well, we're getting the announcement, no smoking inside.
Yes. Yes.
Every 30 minutes we have this announcement because people are just chiefing everywhere, walking by. And just last night, I mean, I saw Ryan from Doja Pack, Josh from Sluggers and Natura, two massive American brands. Dan Adler from Compound Genetics and Node Labs, they all have booths here. And they're bringing their teams and their flavors here to the German market, and people are eating it up. I mean, people love, it's almost like our greatest export is our, kind of brands and culture from America or Hollywood, etc. It seems like the Germans are really accepting these American brands well.
Yes. It really is a hype. I must say, I also, again, old fart me, I had to learn that there's so much great genetics out there, and there's a lot of young Germans who are craving for that.
Social media, man. Social media.
Instagram.
Yes.
Honestly, like I walk outside and I see someone's like, hell yeah, Quest, and I'm like, I'm the least sexy thing here. I'm a dehumidifier, right? But they see it on,
But
on
it's
Instagram,
exactly.
right?
I mean, Quest has a sex appeal, I think, because if you see a Quest summer, there's someone with dedication, with knowledge at work, and I guess that is something people do recognize.
Well, coming to Berlin for the first time, that's how I feel when I see the G-Wagons, the BMWs, the Jaguars. Like, this is a car city. So many beautiful vehicles out there, and it just, like, catches your eye, just like a Quest. You walk into that room, and it's like, damn, all right, I see you.
That's a beautiful way of saying it, Nick. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a great market, guys. Great to be here. I know we're wrapping up here. Any advice for anyone looking to, whether it's a brand looking to enter into the German market or a grower, do you guys have any advice for them today?
Come to me.
Yeah.
No.
Reach out.
Yeah, reach out.
Honestly, the best thing you can do is ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's so many experts, and you've got a visionary like Dirk who's incredible. Reach out to Dirk, reach out to Quest, reach out to whoever, but ask questions for sure.
Absolutely. Ask questions, tap into the community, and just be like a lifelong learner, right? Don't expect just to know it all. And again, reach out to your neighbors, right? Like, we come from an American market. We've seen the boom and bust. We have not gone through the same legalization efforts, of course. Hopefully someday soon we'll, let's not hold our breath. But reach out to other markets that have maybe been there, done that, and also for Americans, reach out to the Germans and assimilate with the culture and what they want. Let's not try to project our American brand, etc. Let's integrate more.
That's a nice way to say it. Yes.
It goes both ways, right?
Yeah, exactly. I guess if you just come here like Walmart try to enter America, then it won't work. But if you have an open ear and an open eye, you will succeed.
I love that. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Mary Jane, Berlin 2025. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next years to come.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks so much, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, man.